All right, welcome to the Good Rookie Show. My name's Fahim.
And my name is Nellie J, y'all, and we are Good Rookie.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's the Good Rookie Show. Yep. What's going on, y'all? As you know, we're your hosts coming to you from Toronto, Canada, the 6th. And we bring you the hottest topics in sports and culture. Hello? Okay. This week we have an amazing guest. Man, we got some good guests this month, Fahim, for our listeners and watchers out there. So Fahim, please introduce who we got.
Well, once we get to the For the Culture segment, will be to really, double down, see what he has going on, see what he's bringing to the table. But he is somebody, a regular that we see on Twitter. So I have to say that right at the top, Twitter Spaces. He also, don't want to ruin For the Culture, but he has his own platform also, which we get into also. So he's somebody that covers all sports, not just basketball, but he's got a lot of things, football, very well-rounded about a sports mind. So I just want to put some respect in his name. And everybody, let's welcome Mouth of the North, Andrew Reece, to the podcast today.
Andrew.
Thank you.
Andrew.
Yeah.
And just like the name of the show, he'll be a good rookie too.
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Good rookies for real. So first of all, Andrew, want to thank you for having me on your podcast, Reece Report, and definitely I will talk about it more for the culture. But let's get your response. We talked a lot about 7 questions around the Raptors, and before we jump into our topic today, as a fellow Raptor fan, I gotta ask you, man, give me the stat line for Grady Dick. Okay, what do you think he'll be averaging this year? It's a prediction, no pressure, but what you got for him in terms of expectations for this season?
Well, my expectations were higher than most. Darkos are not the same, so I will be conservative. I'm gonna say he's gonna average eight points and 5 rebounds. Maybe a couple of assists in about 13 to 15 minutes a game. Now that number will probably go up as the season goes along. I don't think he's going to play as much early. I think he'll shoot about 36% from 3 because he'll be a little nervous getting used to the game speed. But I think that he'll make big shots for us later on in the season.
I love that prediction. I think that's really fair. 8 from a guy coming off the bench as a rookie with, like, he's not going to be top 6, 7, but yeah, he's definitely valuable. I will pile on to that. I want him to be averaging over 35% from the 3-point line. It was 8 points. I don't care how many points he has, but that average better be high because he's drafted for that undeniable skill. So I expect him to bring that to the team when he's open, knock down at least half of those or 40-ish around there. How about you, Fahim? What's your thoughts? Like, what do you expect from Grady Dick this year?
No, well, what you guys mentioned seems to be on par with everything that I would assume. Shooting, the points, yeah, and it's not really a reflection on his play, but his minutes might be a little limited just because rookie and this team has a little bit more depth. As Reece Report said, Mouth, like as the season goes on, we're going to need people to spread the floor, and he's definitely going to be one. But I think there's going to be I think there might be a little bit of a learning curve. That's just thought. Let me throw this real quick. Give me a player comp for Grady Dick.
We spoke about this on the podcast. Go ahead, Reece. I think you got one.
Well, a lot of people have said Klay Thompson. I'm not going to go that far.
Right. I think that's fair, though. I've heard that also. I think that's fair.
Now, down the road, maybe that's the ceiling. I had one, and I can't. I'm trying to think. I also thought that Peja Stojakovic was a reasonable one because of how tall and how quick his release is, and how well he moves without the basketball. And so I think if he's just going to be an offensive player, then Peja. if he gets his long arms and defense behind him, then Klay Thompson is a possibility with how tall he is and how he can shoot over defenders, and the way he moves like Klay. He seems to like championing his game after Reggie Miller. Different type of player, but Reggie Miller, always moving with the ball, always looking for an open space to get his three away. And I can't think of a guy with a quicker release than Reggie Miller in the history of the league. So, a good person to follow for sure.
One more quick prediction before I head to Nelly J. Do you think Grady Dick will be ever in his career in a 3-point competition?
Yes.
Got you.
100%. 100% he'll be in.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nelly J.
Yeah, there's quite a few for him. Like it's so early, right? But I would like him to become, like, for me, a Bojan Bogdanovic. For those who don't know, he plays for the Pistons. If he can become a guy that career-wise could average 39 from 3-point line, I think Bojan has a 15 points career average. That's okay for me, right? To the player style, I'm not mad at Claire Reggie Miller, but his defensive prowess is not there. Like those guys are like such like, yo, you ain't going, go around me. You know what I'm saying? Like they're very like much dogs on the defensive end. So can he become that? Maybe. But I think those guys were really good two-way players. So I guess my hope, to your point, is that he does add that defensive type energy, that type of intensity on the defensive end, because he has a great wingspan, right? Great wingspan. So yeah, but I could see him doing like a 15-40% from 3-point line. If he can just be a shooter, just shoot the ball, shoot it well. And I think all the guys we named, were just phenomenal shooters. So I think his comp was someone like that. But of course, they're all also bigger. They're not like 6'4". They're all 6'7", 6'8" guys. So yeah, I ain't mad at anyone's comp right now. How about you, Fahim?
Yeah, my comp, I've always saw it right from the jump. Gordon Hayward out of Butler. But then I kind of, like I said, I'm trying to figure out. I think it's kind of lazy to have like a white player seems to always get compared with other white players, and I think that's kind of lazy, So,
well, I mean, they move similar though. Like, it's not lazy because we're not saying it's because they're white; they're similar. Like, right. Fahim, how many like great shooters? Like, I mean, like averaging 40 from the 3-point line is out there, right? We can name probably 2 or 3 that were of the set, but the majority of them were white shooters. Like even like when I played basketball and we played teams in Alberta, we're like, oh, they're gonna shoot so well. Like, it's not really lazy. It's just something where in the NBA they're not the most athletic players, right? But a lot of them can shoot really freaking well. And Grady Dick is a really great shooter. And I think we all named folks. Clay's not white. Reggie's not white, but I think they're all really great shooters. So,
yeah, okay. There is another player that's of African American descent that I remember watching, and that's Richard Hamilton. Now, Richard Hamilton wasn't a 3-point shooter, but he moved so well without the ball to get open and take his jumper. That's another guy that I could think of that more range, but like him, yes.
Yeah.
That's important, I think, for him is to have a really good off-ball play, like really know how to move and get open off the ball. That would be great if he can get that as well. Good point.
Okay. So I brought up a question about the 3-point competition on All-Star Weekend. Something that is actually looks like it's coming into effect in the NBA on All-Star Weekend. They went with this whole captain type situation with deciding teams for the All-Star game, and now they're going back to the original format of East versus West. Woo! Thoughts on that? Not you got it.
You got it, Andrew.
I am very happy that they've gone back to the original format. I was one of the few people that did not like this captain's pick thing. I like knowing who's going to be in the game ahead of time. I like knowing who the teams are ahead of time. I want to know, what the score might be, who's going to be MVP, who's going to be effective, who's playing together. We didn't know that until before the game. I wasn't a fan of that. And I'm also a fan of them just playing the full 12 minutes and not going to a score. Even though it created a competitive fourth quarter, I'd prefer the game to be played in its original format. Call me an old man, but I prefer them playing a real natural game. There ain't going to be any defense played in it anyway, so nothing's really going to change that. Even at the end of the game, yeah, there'll be a little defense played, but if it's a blowout, it's the same thing. They're not going to play any defense. You're going to have 320 points, and you're going to see a lot of dunks and threes. That's just the way it is.
Mouth of the North, you tell no lies. I was also a part of the Team LeBron, Team Giannis. What the hell is that, man? If I'm a professional player, I'm not playing on no goddamn Team LeBron. Nor do I care if we win or not. I do not care. Okay, I think East versus West is a better rivalry. Because we always debate all the time which conference is better, who has the better talent, which one's harder. Let's get this figured out on the court. Maybe because we're old school, we prefer the old format, but I agree. I think I'm happy they brought it back. I think it's going to bring way more, at least a bit more competition, because now we're playing for our conference. Damn, who's the better conference, right? But yeah, I agree with you, man. You said it best. Let's get back to the original. Too much changes isn't always really good, and I think they tried it out. But I think for the players, for the fans, East versus West, let's get these stars from each side figured out. And also, let's be real, guys. The fact that we still remember Jokic being picked last.
Wow.
Jokic being picked last. And all these guys can't even defend him. No one can, right? He won a chip. Really?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big problem for me because it's all popularity and who we like. So yeah, get that crap out of here. Your thoughts, Fahim?
In defense of Jokic, he probably doesn't give a hoot about the All-Star game.
Listen, first of all, I feel like he was during that the selection, he was just kind of but he was kind of hey, what's going on? He kind of felt away. Yeah. But to your point, he's a great sport, right? But for me as a fan, I'm bruh, y'all, I would want Jokic on my team because no one could he's what? He can assist, he can rebound, he can pass, he can shoot. What more do you want, bruh? Anyway.
Mm-hmm. So for the East versus West, I do like that Adam Silver is always trying to tweak little things in the league. So it seems like he's obviously clearly focused on how can we make things more entertaining. He's taking risks, some of them are good, some of them are bad. I mean, this one was, I think, one that you would have to try, because I remember the first year they did it, it was kind of interesting, but I just felt like it kind of lost its luster after a while. So I'm going to throw this question out to you guys then. Do you think, because the All-Star game, it's been hurting for a while, what kind of impact, if any, do you think that going back to the East versus West is going to make? And I'm just going to mention this before I give you the question. The Kobe ending that they had, the Elam ending, where they had a number. That first year that unfortunately Kobe had passed, they ran that. It was really great. The following, but now I don't know if it's keeping that same weight that it had before. So I guess it's a two-part question. And one, if you think there's going to be any impact of this East versus West to bring it back, and in regards to the ending of the Elam, if you think that's going to have any effect.
Well, I mean, there are other ways to honor Kobe. They did their job. They honored him as he should be honored. I just think that they wanted to make it feel more like an all-star game and not like just the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. I think East-West will keep the fans interested in maybe voting more than they did before. Perhaps, a borderline player like a Pascal Siakam doesn't have to worry about someone else not picking up his phone to make the team, aka James Harden. Perhaps the fans will know, okay, well, if I vote, it might make a difference. Whereas if it's just all the 10 or 12 best players, doesn't matter who I vote for, the majority is going to win, and it's going to be whoever that player is. But for me, the All-Star Game's interest is lagging because of the Saturday night. The dunk competition is a catastrophe. They can't get the best players to do it anymore because they make too much money, in all fairness. And they're not trying to grow the game like they did back in the 80s when Michael Jordan was skying and Lenny Wilkins, what's that
Dominique
human highlight
Wilkins?
film? Dominique
No,
Wilkins
Dominique
Dominic
was
Wilkins.
Wilkins. Mhm.
yes, was in there. They and it meant something. Vince Carter from our Raptors, having one of the best dunk contests ever. The main players don't want to be in it, and therefore the interest is very low. Plus the dunks get repetitive, and the judging and the missed dunks. The 3-point shooting contest for me is more interesting. I enjoy that more.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. Like, what your first question was, All-Star, will it make it better? I think absolutely yes, because it's playing for pride, right? You don't want to say our conference lost, and we have the weaker conference. I think there's some type of pride there. Now, the question is, will Luka or Jokic care? I don't know. I don't know, right? Like, those two are probably the least unmotivated guys during All-Star break. But I will say that, playing for my conference, playing for who's the better conference, that can get me some kind of energy versus playing for Team LeBron and hoping Team LeBron wins. Like, that is not, for me, encouraging.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think it's better than what they had before. Second question around the Elam ending. I like it because I think it has a target. And to be honest, as fans, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch a timed game to go to 200. Like the time games to me is boring because we know they don't care anyway. And the Elam, to me, it makes them have some urgency because we noticed that like the beginning of the quarter is kind of like lazy. At the end, everyone picks up speed. So it's better than them having to play a timed quarter. And to be honest, there's no target. We're just playing. And as the time runs out, like, no, give them some. So I think it gives them a bit more urgency. But again, these are superstars. These are millionaires upon millionaires. And it's the midseason tournament. Like, I don't know, Fahim. Like, that is also being added. So I feel like that could kind of take away from the All-Star weekend because it's also going to be in Vegas. So, like, I don't know. Like, I think this year will be a different type of energy because of the midseason. Then we got the All-Star break. Then the play-in. It's like, I don't know, man. This year will be a year of first. Plus 65 games must be played to win, to win an award. Like, it's a lot of firsts happening this year. So I'm kind of waiting to see how the players receive all this new changes this season.
Mm-hmm. No, it's fair. Say Adam Silver is calling you right now, and he asks you one thing that you think could fix the All-Star game. Real quick, is there anything that comes to mind that you think you would tell him that would fix the All-Star game?
Get the best players in the dunk contest. That, to me, that is the one thing that will spike interest more than anything else. Get the absolute best players in the dunk contest. Yeah.
Okay. Nelly J?
What's the one thing to do? Yeah, I think I like that answer, but the dunk contest, I think the 3-point contest is way much more fun, exciting. The dunk contest, I think there should be tryouts. Don't just get anyone to do a dunk contest. We gotta have a prelim or something. Like, make it fun. And if not for him, make it for fans. Make it for anyone, not just, make it for like any pro player, not just NBA. Make it a place where if you want to get exposure for one night only, you try out. We can make it like, American Idol, right? But American Dunkle. I don't know what I'm picking a name, whatever. But you try for the dunk contest, and then the top 4 makes it on TV. Like, why not? At this point, like, what else can we do? You know what I'm saying? Like, last year, the guy who won doesn't play for the NBA. He's a G League minimum, right?
Right,
G League player. Right. So why make it just NBA? Make it for any pro player. You try out, send your videos. If you're top 5 or top 10, you do a local tournament, put out a YouTube channel, make it like a fan favorite vote, and then you have it. Figure it out, man.
Yeah, it's just a tough position to be in because think about it. Right now, they're playing for charity, right? Charity is the thing that they're playing for, and that hasn't even fixed the game. So if you can't convince players to play for something beyond them, it's in a charity. I just don't know if there's anything they can do to fix the All-Star game, but we'll see. I mean, East versus West, the uniforms, the jersey should be nice, but so I mean, the league's going to win with that. But anyways, I guess we'll see. All right, Nelly J, let's go for the culture.
For the culture, we'll get to highlight individuals for the culture, and today we get to highlight the one and only Mouth of the North, Andrew Reece. So, Andrew Reece Report, Mouth of the North. I mean, we call you all the things, right? But
Yes.
big up to you. You're someone that we met on Twitter Spaces. Big up to Raptors Live TV. You always had amazing takes, great perspective, right? Great view of the Raptors, how they play, where they should go in terms of direction. And you're someone that has become a common voice for a lot of the listeners to actually listen to and of course respect. So not only are you the Raptors voice for Mouth of the North, but you're also on the Reece Report, which is your own podcast, your own show, which you started, I believe, back in 2012. So walk us through the Reece Report. Why do you start the actual YouTube channel, your Facebook page? Walk us through the mission and initiative of the Reece Report as well. You got it.
Well, I found myself talking a lot about all kinds of sports with my friends. And everyone was like, you know what? You've wanted to do this your whole life. YouTube's out there. You should be doing this. You should be hosting. You should be interviewing. You should be talking about sports live. You should be going on YouTube. You talk a great game with us, and you'll sit here for hours with us. You should go and talk to people online. Go talk to people on Twitter. And it took me a while to get comfortable with it. Now I'm out there, and I just, my whole thing was I need to get my voice out there so people know that I know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to bring a fresh perspective, an honest perspective, and see what I got. The channel was started first by my friends convincing me to start it, and it was more of a friendly Reece Report where we did topics that we talked about, and then I really expanded it into the Raptors because of how much of a fan I am and how much response I got from Raptor fans. So I didn't really have a focus until relaunching the channel this year. So now, as you can see, I have quite the Raptors focus because of the great fans out there who have really responded and respected what I've done. So I kind of owe it to them for giving me a focus and making me realize that this is a good idea for me.
That's really dope. And walk us through that, because I feel a lot of people talk sports with their friends, but then when you're now trying to create a platform and do it in terms of a YouTube channel, walk us through that type of, what do you think it takes? Because I think people think, oh, we all talk sports, but as you can tell, it's a lot of work, right? Offline.
Yes.
So what are some things that you think is important before you start a YouTube channel? Because I think people think, oh, I'll start one, but any tips for anyone looking to start one out there? What you got?
Be yourself. Do not try to be someone else. I find that a lot of podcasts, they try to be someone who's already on TV. Be yourself. And when you're yourself, it will come across when you speak to people. If it's from here and you have your own voice and you are speaking from your own heart and mind, it will come across as the Mouth of the North and not Stephen A. Smith or Nick Wright or somebody else on TV that has a loud voice. And that will make you feel authentic. Be authentic to yourself. That was one of the things I wanted to do. I watch a lot of debate shows almost every day. I did get a lot of inspiration from some of the worst ones and Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, and also some of the best ones who are nice about talking about sports. So I did a lot of research and a lot of listening, and I took parts of learning from them and sort of molded it and said, okay, these are what these guys are doing, but I want to be different and be me and come across as someone who has his own voice. And so when I give you my voice, it comes across as honest and authentic. And that was my goal. And the channel just lets me get out everything that I want to get out. And I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm going to tell it how it is. Whether it makes me popular or not is not important to me. It's more that I'm honest and tell the truth. So
I think that's why we kind of were drawn to you, because when you speak, it was never a place of, oh, I'm just a hater. There's some Raptor fans, and I love y'all, but some of y'all, we could tell it's from hate. It's not really about an objective view, and that's okay, right? We all have a bias, but I think for you, when you speak, I know it's come from a place of team work, winning, championship, it's a bigger picture, so it's more macro, not really micro. And I always think that you're very genuine in your takes. And also you say, you know what? I was wrong about this. Or you know what? I was right about this. Like, I think
Mhm.
one thing about debating in sports, it's okay to get it wrong sometimes, y'all. It's
Yes.
okay, to get it wrong. Like, I think sometimes, and for me, something because I guess as a woman, I'm always like, yo, if I get it wrong, because I'm a woman talking sports, I get more, it's more like, oh my God, nothing was wrong. And I'm like, listen, I could be wrong, shoot. And that's okay, damn it. Like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, So I think being in sports, you got to be okay to be right or wrong, but be true to yourself. So I love that. Love that. Now, walk us
Yeah.
through, what's your favorite sport? We know you're a Raptor fan, but are there
Oh,
any other
wow.
fans? Hey, we got to know the deal. What other
Yeah.
teams do you follow or sports do you follow that you're also a big fan of? For those who don't know.
Okay, I am definitely a hockey person. I've been playing hockey my whole life and watching hockey my whole life with my dad. I grew up a hockey lover. It wasn't until
Awesome.
the Raptors, and the Raptors were big, but Michael Jordan started my basketball love, and that's where I really started to get into the game. Michael Jordan changed my life with regards to basketball, and made me a fan of the basketball, to the point where I try to find spots where I can watch Bulls games, because you can only watch them on Sundays on NBC. So I was trying to find bars where I could watch the games, back in the day. And then the Raptors came along, and the rest is history. Um, I watch soccer as well. Big soccer fan. I used to only watch the world stage, but now I watch everything. That came from friends that grew up with soccer, and introduced me. I met my wife, who's Portuguese, introduced me to soccer. That's how I got into that. Huge football fan. Every Sunday watching football. I do a show with regards to the NFL. Big fan of that. Fantasy, the whole lot. I will watch just about anything. I watch tennis. I'm a big fan of Novak Djokovic. I watched golf for a while when Tiger Woods is around. I don't as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you name the sport, and I'm probably watching it, and talking about it. Obviously, focusing on the Raptors now. I mean, Jays. I don't watch baseball like religiously. I just pay attention to the Jays, and
Mm-hmm.
I will pay attention to the playoffs. But I'm not a huge baseball fan. But outside of that, I'm watching pretty much anything that piques my interest. But hockey was my first love.
That is so, I love that. And I think that's one thing about having the Raptors coming to Toronto, because I'm like you, I was a big Jordan fan. I was obsessed. I didn't miss a game, you know what I mean, at all. But especially back in the day, we used to get a lot of US channels, luckily in Toronto, because our sports channels were so trash. So we used to get a lot of the Jordan games because we're kind of close to Chicago or whatever. But to your point, the fact that when the Raptors came here, you became a fan, like me. Unlike some of y'all fans who stay fans of other teams. Anyways, I'm not gonna go in a rant,
Yes.
but
Yes.
big up yourself for stick with the home team. It was some rough years, I'm not gonna lie, but now we're champions, and I love the fact that you are a sports fan, not just a Raptor fan. So it makes you a little bit more complete as a fan, more complete.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so what's your favorite team? Your favorite hockey team back in the day?
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay,
Um,
you're
I,
talking like
I, I,
Lemieux,
yeah,
Yager.
Lemieux Yager. I was a huge Wayne Gretzky fan growing up. That's what got me into
Mm.
hockey, was watching Wayne Gretzky back in the Oiler days.
Yeah.
And then he got traded to the Kings. I happened to have their jersey, and I was a fan of theirs already. He ended up in the Kings, and a lot of my friends hate me for cheering for him because they beat the Leafs the year that they could have went to the finals. So
Right.
that's a bone of contention. But I was a huge Gretzky fan, and then I got into the Penguins, because they had a lot of my favorite players. Sidney Crosby is one of my favorite players, so I'm really into the Penguins now. But for the most part, I'm just a fan of the game. I'll watch anybody, anyone. I love analyzing the players, watching the games, watching the skill. I'm not the biggest Leaf fan in the world, but I watch all their games because my friends watch them and I want to chat with them about the team.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'll say that I'm more of a player fan than I am an actual team fan. I enjoy watching the game. So um not a huge allegiance, but I am a Penguins fan. I hope they do well.
Okay.
It's
Now,
basketball, Raptors, Bulls. Before the Raptors, I was a Bulls fan. I love the Chicago
Yep.
Bulls.
Hmm.
They were my team. They were the only team I cared about, to be honest. And then the Raptors came, and obviously Jordan was still there. I remember him coming here and losing his first game in Toronto, which was amazing. And then he was gone and the Raptors are here. So he sort of filled the void. So like the Raptors filled the void, and so that was that. And as far as football, 49ers, big 49ers fan for football.
Ooh,
So
that team is really good
Nice.
this year. Really good
So,
team.
yeah.
Your Montana days, Montana Rice,
I go back to
or
I was after Montana.
so Steve
Steve Young.
Young,
Steve
Steve
Young.
Young,
Yeah.
right? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you mentioned what got you started into this journey of content creation. Your friends have said, "Hey, you know what? You talk a good game." Um, Ironically, that same thing with me and Nelly J. Or it's organically. We used to work together. We talked, and it's something that's obviously over time kind of blossomed into what it is now, right? So it's always good to see that sometimes things call you naturally, organically, right? And clearly, when you come in our spaces, from the first time I heard you speak, I was like, okay, well, like this guy's a real deal, like with this, and you can tell just by the work you do. Is there anything over the last 10 years, say, what's your biggest moment that you feel that you've had so far on the channel?
I would say I think to be honest, Twitter was a big thing for me. I wasn't on Twitter for a very long time, and
Mm.
meeting people on Twitter and listening to people, trying to also do the same thing that I do on your show, uh, listening to people, see if they know what they're talking about, wanting to have them as guests. So having my first guest that was not a friend was a big deal for me, not a
I love
family
that.
member. I That was the initiation for me. It's like, okay, now I'm going outside my comfort zone. Now I'm going to start interviewing people. Now I'm going to start talking game with people that I don't know. How will it come across? uh Outside of that, this mini series I just did was a big thing for me. I had planned it in advance, and I said to myself, "Hey, I'm going to do a bunch of interviews in a row. I'm going to ask the same questions, and I'm going to have 7 different conversations with 7 different people with the same questions. How will that come across?" And it really went very, very well. That was big for me because I hadn't done that before.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was very receptive and was honored to be on the show. I wasn't expecting that because I'm always humble. I don't know who knows me and who's watched my work and who's seen my work. And so when I reached out to get that kind of reception and respect was very humbling. That was a big moment for me in the channel for
Aw,
sure.
Nice.
that's awesome. I mean, like
Yeah.
you're a really good interviewer, easy to speak with. You have clear thoughts, clear like you also provide breakdown as to why you come to that conclusion. So yeah, like honestly, I know you're gonna have a successful channel. The Raptor community is growing, and I think we're all gonna grow together. And we're just so happy to collaborate with you. Having you on our podcast is an honor, and I'm honored to be on yours. So yeah, let's just guys subscribe to Reece Report, support. Okay, if you want to speak to him directly, come on Raptor Live TV. He's always there. So, or message him on Twitter. He's really cool to contact. So that's it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the road to 1,000. I want to get to 1,000 guys,
Let's
if at
go.
all possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually I actually ran out of time. I had more people that wanted to come on, so I'll try to get everyone
Oh,
on as we
that's
go along.
awesome.
So
Nice.
that was also cool.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
All right. So Nelly J, let's go to our last segment. That's absurd.
That's absurd. Fahim, girl, what was absurd this week? What was absurd?
The NBA is under investigation for an anti-competitive behavior suit towards Ice Cube's Big 3 league. Absurd.
Absurd. Fahim, we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming.
Yeah.
Like the NBA has been haters of any other professional basketball league, and not just hating because of whatnot. It's like, how do you tell another company not to sponsor that league because you feel away? You have the freaking NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, your thoughts on this, man? Your thoughts on NBA blocking, the Big 3 for so many years from getting really good
Well,
sponsorship?
if you want some blunt convo, you're about to get it. The NBA decided, you know what, we like this little brother, the Big 3. Hey, Ice Cube's there. Hey, it's going to be good. It's going to help our brand. They'll help us promote. Then what happened was the big three got bigger than they thought. And then they said, you know what? They're getting a little too big for us. We're not going to invest. And then the tables turned and they decided, well, we're going to do everything in our power to stop this brand from getting bigger. Let's take the refs away. Let's make sure the NBA players don't get to go. Let's talk to the owners and say, you know what? Maybe take away the insurance when they want to go. And therefore, the players have their hands tied. They have massive contracts. They have sponsors to answer to. And so Ice Cube got screwed, for lack of a better term. And so it's absolutely legit what they're doing. Proving it will be difficult because and even if they get a fine, the NBA will just say, okay, here, we're $1 billion company, take the fine and see you later. So there might not be a lot they can do about it, but Ice Cube is doing his thing and making sure that they get exposed for what they're doing. This has happened before with other leagues, the football especially. Whenever a league comes along, they get buried. And so it's going to be tough for Q, but he's a fighter. He always has been, always will be.
I agree. And I agree with you there for sure. Like this, even if it doesn't win the suit, I think it brings it attention to everyone. And I'm hoping if you can get like a because I think some of the endorsements were like all exclusive rights. That shouldn't be exclusive. Like it's a league. So the NBA is saying it's only us or no one else. I feel like brands should push back, but the money is so good in the NBA, so I get it. But there's no way the NBA should be controlling, again, allegedly, sporting goods and liquor companies and all these things to not work with the big three. Like these guys in that league are older, they're retired. And if NBA players can play in Pro-Am, hello, one of the big three. Like I'm confused. So anyway, very absurd for him. How about you, man? Your thoughts on this lawsuit?
Yeah, you pretty much hit it on the head. It's not really a surprise that's happening. The league was not comfortable with Isaiah Thomas, Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas. He had a league called the Continental Basketball Association back in the day. And that was actually something that the league took as a blueprint for what's now called the G League. At the time was D League. So, if what they're doing is not novel to basketball, it happens in business. A bigger company sees a great idea, they have the capital, they have the pull to it, and they can beat them to the punch to get to market. You're right though, Reece. It is going to be hard for Ice Cube to actually like prove that the league's been doing it. But I mean, I'll speak for myself. When the league came out, Big Three, I wasn't big on the Big Three. And I'll be honest, if I was a betting person, I would probably bet that it wouldn't be around 5 years later that it has now. So I want to put some respect on Ice Cube and what he's done with the league. Really overachieved on something that I didn't think was possible. I'm hearing that now 3-on-3 basketball is going to be part of the Olympics.
Yes.
Yes.
So keep in mind, Fahim, there was always a FIBA 3-on-3 before the Big Three. So this is not something new. Yeah.
Right. But still, I mean, the growth of 3-on-3 basketball is something that I didn't see viable for a professional level. So Ice Cube has a vision, and sometimes it goes to show that you can't hold a good man down. So regardless of what the league, imagine the NBA is trying to hold you down, and Ice Cube is still thriving. So it's absurd that the NBA is pushing its weight on Ice Cube and the Big Three, but it's great to see that this kind of David and Goliath type situation that they're making their way through.
It wasn't until real NBA players wanted to play that they got uppity.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's current like NBA players. That's when the NBA is like, whoa. You can have the retired guys. You can have the unsigned guys, but you can't have contracted NBA players, even though they play summer league. They play in all these other leagues in the summer.
Right.
And
come on, man.
Pro-Ams, that's right.
And honestly, like, what would be dope? Imagine, listen, all these G League players that get paid trash. Let's be real. Why can't they make extra money playing this is, guys, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. Like, you're definitely affecting people's pockets now. Like, imagine we had the top, like, this is the way for them to generate revenue, get attention, maybe get to the NBA. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
So,
you know what's funny, Nelly? They're treating it like the NCAA. Remember the NCAA before they paid the players? It's like, okay, you get an education, you can play for us and get an education, but you can't go anywhere else. You can't sign autographs, you can't sell your name, you can't sell your jersey. You can't do. They're doing this now to the NBA players with regards to the big three. It's kind of hypocritical.
It really, really is. And that's why when Jaylen Brown played, I knew that wasn't something he should be doing, but nonetheless, he still played. And what are they going to do? Fine him? He got paid. He's the highest paid player in history now. So what's up, right? So I like that Jaylen Brown did that. And because I remember that game was huge. People watched it from all over that didn't watch the big three. And it brought them so much more attention. So big up to Jaylen Brown for sticking up to the big brother.
And it would be very interesting if we get more current players. Because now knowing, so if you're a player in the league and it's coming out that there's a lawsuit that the league is trying to hold back the big three, not to say get back at your employer, but they might see something to see, to say, hey, you know what, if the league's doing this, maybe they want to see Ice Cube win, So I wouldn't be surprised if you have more players getting involved just because it's kind of, counterculture, to what the league wants. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. At that point, Nelly J, let's put this episode in the books.
Well, y'all, that was the Good Rookie Show. So, guys, as you know, this is our time that we do shout outs. Reece Report, Mouth of the North. You got it. Your shout outs, brother.
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to all my guests, all my followers, all the Raptors fans. For anyone who's out there, I am an open book. You can contact me anytime, anywhere, any place. I will respond. I love all the comments. I love all the thoughtfulness. Thank you, James Welch, for responding to all my videos. Thank you, SS Roll, for going out of your way to compliment my channel. Thank you, Curly, for doing the same. Everyone's been great and very supportive. When you're doubting yourself and you have support, or you're even not sure about yourself and you get that respect and support, it only helps you to do more. And as you can see, my channel's growing, my background's growing, my fandom's growing. And now I'm going on other people's shows to expand my audience. So I'm loving this. I'm having the time of my life, and it's only the first game of the season. So I got a lot of fun stuff coming ahead. You guys are gonna love it. Trust me.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, my shout out is to you. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for contributing to the Raptors community. Providing great content, great insight, right? I think that's important and great perspective. I also want to say something to you, Reece, okay? I also have my big heads as well, okay? I got Sabrina and I got my girl Asia, okay? So just so you know, okay? I got mine over here too. Anyway, y'all, I'm being really silly.
Shame on Toronto for not getting a women's team. Shame on
us. Shame on us. Shame on us.
Yes.
But on that same line, I do want to big up my girl. I gotta big it up, y'all. So I found out this week that Beyonce makes history twice. Okay, first of all, she's the first touring artist to gross over 100 million in 3 separate calendar months. Also, her Renaissance World Tour grossed 592.4 million across 56 shows, making it the highest grossing female tour in history. Okay.
Damn.
Lord have mercy.
Damn.
So big up to Beyonce. Big up to what she's doing for the culture, for, her fans. Y'all, I went to her show and it's a lot of work. I got tired after one. And she was doing like back to back, listen, man, her work ethic is impeccable. She really inspires me. So big up to Beyonce, because I thought that was really dope. You got it, Fahim.
Big shout out to Reece Report. Every interaction that I've ever had with him has been 100. He's a real one, so I want to put some respect on your name. Also, he came into our Twitter spaces. I'm gonna say maybe 20 games prior to the end of the season. it was a long
Yeah.
time, and you came in and you said, I'm not sure if, okay, clarify. Did you say you didn't say the Raptors will get Grady Dick, but you said the Raptors should get Grady Dick. Is that correct?
So in January, I said that's the player they should draft, and then I tweeted after that he will be drafted. It was April 15th. I said he'll be the 13th pick. The Raptors are going to get him. Many people said he would not drop to us, but I said in April before the draft that we're going to get him, and that's the player we should draft. I stood by that the whole time, and we got him.
What's crazy about your tweet, I tweeted too the day of the draft that I want a Grady Dick, but like most others, I didn't think we're going to get him because a lot of those teams above us needed a shooter, right? But hey, I ain't complaining. And listen, I think it was you and also another person that brought me onto him because I don't watch a lot of college. I mean, I watch more college around March Madness, but you and someone, I forgot who it was, that brought him up that was like, yeah, look, check him out, Nelly. He's really good. And then I was like, yeah. And then I asked a few guys who played in NCAA and who kind of follow more. And they're like, yeah, he's actually a really good shooter. So I'm like, okay. So Reece and, beyond, like, you all really saw the vision, but I was really happy we got him, Reece. So thank you for your insight, man. That was dope. Appreciate that.
You know how frustrated I was on your channels, guys. I was so frustrated with the shooting, so I had to go and find a shooter in college, and I found one.
So on the way out, I as a Raptor fan have kind of, because obviously it must be a great feeling to see a player in a college and hope he plays for your team and he actually ends up playing for your team. Like that's got to be a great feeling. Like the way things pile up. So now you have a moment of time going forward where you have your guy, regardless whether he's great or not. Yeah. He's your guy. On the way out,
thrilled.
On the way out, I have a similar story, so I can relate to what you're feeling now. I watched a player on college on CBS. I was telling people I like this player. We ended up drafting this player. I didn't watch the draft, so then people were calling me, "Oh, they got your guy." I was thinking, yeah, he didn't get. And we ended up picking him up, and he stayed for 1 year, and he got traded after his first year. A little trivia for you: who is this player I'm talking about?
Oh my God, you're gonna. Oh man.
Okay, hold on. Let me help you because it's a little broad. This player, he played in the Chris Bosh era. He was okay. I'll help you one more. He got traded for TJ Ford to Milwaukee. Yeah. Okay, one more. He was.
Is it Vasquez?
No, you're close with the name. It wasn't Vasquez. I'll give you one more hint before we get out. This player was an NBA All First Team in his rookie year with the Raptors, and we traded him. He's a front court player. He's 6'10", and he played with Chris Bosh, and he could stretch the floor, shoot the three.
Why? This is slipping my mind. God, it's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me so much now. Oh my God, Chris Bosh. All I remember Chris Bosh playing with was Jermaine O'Neal.
Right, right. That's right. You're close, right? So
then Joey Graham.
No. He's
Graham.
Same era. Okay, the last thing. He was. I'll describe the player. 6'10". He can shoot the three. He went to Connecticut.
Let's see. Yeah, I was saying, give him the school. Yeah.
Oh God, his name slips my mind. But I think
when you said Rufus Vasquez, it's close, and there's a reason why. Because the name is kind of Spanishy, but
I would say like, is he 6? Is he 6? I thought he was 6'11". He's 6'10" for you?
6'10", well, whatever, 6'10", 6'11".
6'10", 6'11".
Well, his initial.
Go ahead.
All right, I'll give his first name. C.
First name C. Oh my God, I was thinking of somebody else.
Okay. Last name.
Beheem loves this guy, yo.
V.
Last name.
V.
C and V initials.
C and V. Oh my God! If I don't get this, I'm gonna lose my mind. C and V. Why don't I? Oh, Charlie Villanueva.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Beheem loves that boy.
And now that I remember that draft, and everyone was calling us crazy for drafting because we already had someone at the position,
Exactly.
and he didn't last long, so he
No,
just
1
completely
year.
left my mind, right?
Yeah, he literally
right.
was like one
Yes.
year, and then he was out.
Yeah.
That was my guy. That was my guy. That was
Wow. He
So,
did have a couple of good games for us.
yeah, he had a 49-point game. Like, yeah, that's my guy though. But how you feel, Grady Dick, I can relate to having someone that you saw before play for you. It's a great feeling. So I enjoy that. All right.
Yeah, TJ Ford. Wow. Didn't remember that one. Wow. There you go.
All right. Melly J, let's put this episode in the books.
Y'all, that was the Good Rookie Show.
Yeah.
So y'all, if you had a good time, you enjoyed yourself, please like and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell 2 friends. 2.
We're on all platforms if you're looking for us, and also check out the Reece Report. That's Good Rookie Show, and we out.
Peace.